There comes the third secret, revealed to the world by Pope St. John Paul II on May the 13th, 2000.
The conversations about Fatima have to do with these so-called three secrets.
For decades, a mysterious envelope lay sealed within the vaulted depths of the Vatican archives. The Third Secret of Fatima, a message said to be so unsettling that it was kept hidden from the world. Was it a prophecy, a warning, or something that could shake the very foundations of the Church? Today, we'll take a look at the Third Secret of Fatima and why the Church is terrified of it. Background of Fatima's secrets. In 1917, in a small village called Fatima in Portugal, something extraordinary happened that would capture the... This figure asked them to return to the same spot on the 13th of each month for the next 6 months. Curious and a bit frightened, the children agreed. As news spread about these supposed visions, crowds began to gather. Each month, more and more people came to see if they could catch a glimpse of something miraculous. The lady's messages emphasized the importance of prayer, repentance, and devotion to God. She also shared with the children 3 secrets, or prophecies, which added to the mystery surrounding these events. The most significant of these gatherings was on October 13th, 1917, known as the Miracle of the Sun. On that rainy day, thousands of people claimed to witness the sun appearing to dance in the sky, zigzagging and emitting multicolored light. Many reported feeling awestruck themselves, but also about the historical context. The events occurred during World War I, a time of global conflict and uncertainty. The messages of peace and repentance resonated deeply with people looking for hope. The first and second secrets. In one of the apparitions, Mary showed Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta a terrifying vision. They saw a huge sea of fire beneath the earth, filled with demons and the souls of the damned. The children described people screaming in pain and despair, and terrifying creatures they couldn't really understand. Imagine being so young and witnessing such a horrifying scene. It really shook them up. But Mary didn't show them this vision just to scare them. She wanted to highlight the reality of hell as a consequence of the future. Mary told the children that if people didn't stop offending God, a worse war would break out during the reign of Pope Pius XI. This prediction came true with the outbreak of World War II a couple of decades later. She also spoke specifically about Russia. At the time, Russia was on the brink of the Bolshevik Revolution, which led to the rise of communism. Mary warned that Russia would spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars, famines, and persecution of the Church and faithful people. She cautioned that these troubles would continue unless certain steps were taken. To prevent these disasters, Mary requested 2 things: the consecration of Russia to her Immaculate Heart by the Pope and bishops, and the practice of the first Saturday's devotion. This devotion involved attending. The third secret was kept confidential for many years at the request of the Virgin Mary, who asked that it not be disclosed until 1960. So, what was this secret that remained hidden for so long? When 1960 arrived, the Vatican chose not to release the third secret. This decision surprised many and led to widespread speculation. People wondered what could be so significant or alarming that it had to remain confidential. Pope John III read the secret, but decided it wasn't the right time to disclose it. He reportedly felt that the message might be better understood in the future. Successive popes also reviewed the secret. Pope Paul VI read it, but likewise opted to keep it private. It wasn't until Pope John Paul II's papacy that the third secret gained a vivid and symbolic vision. The children saw an angel with a flaming sword in his left hand, flashing it and emitting flames that looked like they would set the world on fire. But the flames died out upon contact with the splendor that radiated from Mary's right hand. The angel, pointing to the earth with his right hand, cried out in a loud voice, "Penance, penance, penance!" They then saw a future scene, a bishop dressed in white, whom they identified as the Pope, making his way up a steep mountain, at the top of which was a big cross. Along the way, he passed through a city half in ruins and prayed for the souls of the dead he encountered. Upon reaching the top, he was killed by a group of soldiers who fired bullets and arrows at him. Other bishops that the vision related to the attempt on his life in 1981. After surviving an assassination attempt on May 13th, the anniversary of the first Fatima apparition, he credited the Virgin Mary with saving him, saying that it was her guidance that redirected the bullet. Interpretations of the vision. One widely accepted view is that the vision foretold the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II in 1981. The vision describes a bishop dressed in white being attacked and falling as if dead. Since the Pope survived an attempt on his life on May 13th, the same date as the first Fatima apparition, many, including the Pope himself, believed that the Virgin Mary intervened to save him. This interpretation sees the vision as a prophecy of that specific event and a testament highlighting the courage and martyrdom of countless individuals. Some people think the vision goes beyond specific historical events and serves as a warning about future challenges. They believe it points to ongoing struggles within the Church, such as crises of faith, moral lapses, or internal conflicts. This perspective sees the vision as a call for the Church to stay vigilant, uphold its values, and address any issues that might weaken its unity or integrity. There are also those who feel that the third secret hasn't been fully disclosed. They speculate that there might be more to the message, perhaps concerning apocalyptic events or deeper spiritual crises. Despite the Vatican's statements affirming that the entire secret has been revealed, these theories persist among some groups who believe there's and collective transformation to prevent or mitigate suffering. Lastly, some interpret the vision as a reminder of the triumph of good over evil. Despite the harrowing images, the ultimate protection offered by the Virgin Mary and the angels collecting the blood of the martyrs symbolize hope and the belief that faithfulness will prevail in the end. John Paul II. On May 13, 1981, Pope John Paul II was greeting crowds in St. Peter's Square when he was shot and critically wounded by an assassin. Remarkably, he survived the attack. What's intriguing is that the date of the assassination attempt coincided with the anniversary of the first apparition of the Virgin Mary to the 3 shepherd children in Fatima, Portugal, back in 1917. The Pope saw profound to fulfilling the requests that the Virgin Mary had made during the apparitions. One of these was the consecration of Russia to her Immaculate Heart. In 1984, he led a ceremony where he consecrated the whole world, including Russia, to Mary's Immaculate Heart, hoping to bring about spiritual renewal and peace. Another significant act was his decision to reveal the third secret of Fatima. For decades, this secret had been kept confidential, leading to much speculation. In the year 2000, during a visit to Fatima, the Vatican published the text of the third secret. It described a vision of a bishop dressed in white, who is struck down. The Pope, along with the Vatican, interpreted this as a prediction of the suffering endured by the Church, and in particular linked it to the assassination attempt he had survived. Pope John Paul II's relationship with Fatima